Welcome to our weekly Tongren session. This is Joseph Lucier here. We're dealing with giving sessions each week for people that show up. You put in your request and we actually do a therapy. This is actually world famous distance healing. So the goal is for you to sit with your feet flat on the floor, palms face up, take a deep breath in through the nose, out through the nose, and hold your breath. Activate the relaxation response and go for it. So we're going to begin. We actually use a couple of interesting tools so that we can focus our mind. It's not about these tools. This is an assistant to my intention, my consciousness to focus and to actually have all the points on the doll, as we call it, and the hammer to hammer in our mindfulness and our focus on the process. So let's begin right away. So we have requests from many places. And let's begin right away. First one, Chi for perfect blood. So let's do our 3-part process, which is how we make sure we cover all of our points and all of our systems of the body. Blood flow to the brain. So the best thing you can do is to initialize the command points of the brain, to initialize the brain to communicate and wake up to communicate to the rest of the body. We initialize the central nervous system, and we initialize the endocrine system. So that's biochemical communication and bioelectrical communication. So one of the topics for today is about inflammation. Inflammation is the cause of probably 80 to 90% of all disease. Command points of the brain stem, which is the interface between the brain and the spine and the nerves and the neck. So we want to focus on blood and lymph. So blood comes from the bone marrow, is recycled through the spleen, and the bone marrow is also supported by the cranial sacral fluid. So that's what we want to do. So let's do blood flow and nerve flow. Blood flow to the spine, and T1 for the bones for perfect blood, and we've been getting really good results. And hello, Sandra, Gentiana. So T1 for the bones, T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8 for anti-inflammation. That is our process for inflammation or reversing an immune response, an overactive immune response. So welcome, magnificent citizen, Patty C. And then the spleen for blood recycling. And nice newcomer. And inflammation. 70% of our immune system is in the gut. It's our first level of response to pathogens and all these different things. They first come to the gut and they're managed by the microbiome. So that is critical. And then down to some more bone specific points, GB 39. And Marie, good to see you. Is that frost coming out of your mouth there? Is it really cold where you are? What's going on? Hopefully you got some heat. So we work on the bones, the spleen, and the support for the bone marrow, which is the craniosacral fluid. GB 789 to tailbone 1 to 4. Yay! I was going to send you a bunch of blankets. And then grounding to liver 3 and kidney 1. Welcome back, happy mama. And under my desk I have a pedal thing, which I rarely use, but I'm going to use it a little bit right now, just to set up my feet correctly and to get in the comfortable position. I'm going to be here for a while. And there we go. That's a comprehensive way to work on blood. Additional things you can do for blood are foods which resemble blood, like beets, berries, things like that. So the doctrine of signatures is that the food reflects the actual part of the body. Papaya, asparagus, things that, like carrots look like an eye, the walnuts look like a heart. So that's kind of their signature. So let's continue on. Let's tap for tired and inflamed eyes. So some good things I use for a nice newcomer for the eyes. I use this. It's Simulacin, homeopathic for the eyes. I'll have it for computer eyes, tired eyes, inflamed eyes. It's a homeopathic. It only has good side effects. So I would definitely look into that. Tea bags on your eyes, Qigong for the eyes, different things, but Tongren for the eyes too. Blood flow to the brain. So we're going to work with inflamed eyes, and then for mysterious mind, esophageal cancer, and related back pain. And then we will work with Esther, Drew, and Catherine from another meeting. So let's work on inflammation, Q1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. And then we want to work on the nerves to the eyes, C3. And then the ouch point for the eyes. And in Chinese medicine, the liver for the eyes as well. Endocrine, tired and inflamed eyes. What I recommend, don't sit at a computer 15 hours a day like I do. That will help a lot. But definitely there's also, you can make a tea for eye bright tea and look up the dosing and concoction, and then you can put that as a drop into your eye as well. Eye bright herb. There you go. A walnut looks like a brain. It's good for the brain, and nutritionally it has omega-3, which is Ta-da! Good for the brain. T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8 for anti-inflammation. And then T8 for esophageal cancer for mysterious mind, friend D. So we also want to work for any inflammation, the oxygen system. So that would be the phrenic nerve from the side of the neck to the diaphragm, T6. And we'd also work on the lungs, T3. So for Happy Mama, we're going to also work on the lymph, T3 for the lymph. And for some more oxygen focus, phrenic nerve, CV17 for the diaphragm. So let's work on T8 for the esophagus for Fran. We worked on the oxygen, and we're going to work on the dantian area for the esophagus, which would be CV17 and CV12. And hello, magnificent citizen. And we will get this going here. Excuse me. Getting my phone connected. I heard fusion energy. Fusion nuclear energy with no side effects is now available to the world. It doesn't pollute. It's basically just requires engineering. Doesn't pollute, and it is very efficient. And they keep talking about it, using it on other planets. I think they should use it here first. So again, esophageal cancer, T8. And next we're going to work with Esther for pain. So have you tried medical marijuana? We probably talked about that. I think that would be a good option. And grounding. But let's work on one more for friend D. CV17, CV12 for esophageal cancer. And again, the ouch point for the eyes, inflamed eyes. For nice newcomer. So next we'll also work on cataracts and circulation for Sandra and pain for Esther. So let's do that right now. And then next we will work also on ALS. And somebody's requesting sleep apnea. I would definitely use sleep tape at night to force nasal breathing, which can probably solve your sleep apnea. High blood sugar, so definitely more high fiber diet. Better detoxification. I always recommend clay. We have a 2-week clay detoxification program, which I think would be the best way to go. But let's work blood flow to the brain. And for cataracts, I have my favorite book, The Cataract Cure by Kyriazis. They have a CAN-C, I think, remedy you can use for your cataracts. So let's work on the eyes itself. Command points of the brain. And command points of the brain stem. GB17 is for circulation. That's a main focus. Blood flow, nerve flow for the spine, and more circulation. But for the cataracts, C3, definitely check out the book, The Cataract Cure. So for pain, T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. No pain meds. Definitely medical marijuana might be an option. Let me know your thoughts. There are even castor oil packs for the eyes. That's another good option for the eyes. And for the pain, T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, and T7 for the lower body. S1 to 5, as we always do anyway. But let's work on the nerves. B12, alpha lipoic acid, and B complex. Brachial plexus and lumbosacral plexus. So again, the ouch point for the eyes, GB17 for the circulation center, and then the vagus nerve, gut-brain axis, and grounding to the feet, liver 3, and kidney 1. And Catherine, and yes, I did get your request, and Drew, hopefully you're here. I'll include you as always. There's a great herb called horsetail. If you look at it, it looks like a spine. And guess what? It's full of silica, which is good for the bones and the spine. Amazing. So, blood flow to the brain. So ALS, one thing about ALS, you need to rule out Lyme and Epstein-Barr virus to make sure they have the true cause of it. You have to load up tons of vitamin B12, alpha lipoic acid, and B vitamins to make sure your nerves are preserved. You have to detox because sometimes it can be toxin, or it can be viral or bacterial. So clay baths, like we do in our 2-week clay program together as a group, but definitely detoxify and remove viruses and bacteria, or rule out by way of tests for ALS. And for Patty, sleep apnea, high blood sugar, better detox, Aiden, anxiety, depression, Liam, autism, and constipation. So for constipation, we have a 7-day program, believe it or not. Or you just eat prunes, high fiber, specific teas, good hydration, and different things like that. But mostly detoxification. The 3 rules of illness, the causes, toxicity, deficiency, and inflammation. And that's it. That's the main umbrella for pretty much everything. Sleep apnea. So definitely work on the area of the sinuses, but sleep tape would be the way to go for that. High blood sugar, definitely that's a dietary thing. You have to not eat any processed sugars. You have to remove insulin resistance, which is caused by eating animal products. High fat, low fiber foods. Increase your fiber, fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds, and increase your water. And for the detox, we'll do for everyone detox protocol. T4 for the skin. But clay is the best detoxifier ever. T4 for the skin, T9 for the liver, L2 for the kidneys. So actually T3, T4, the lymph, the skin, the liver, and the kidneys for detoxification. So autism is oftentimes caused by a toxic overload from the environment, possibly from too many vaccines, many things. Okay, and grounding for Patty. So anxiety, GB13, that's our classic point. And Kim Davison, welcome on. And we've got Ani on here as well. Blood flow to the brain. So anxiety, so C1, T1, C1, and GB13. Also for depression, so increase the fermented foods, reduce the hormones induced from animal products. And then for Liam, also GB13 for autism. And for constipation, blood flow, nerve flow, T11, T12, lumbosacral plexus, so T11, T12, L4, L5 for the constipation. So if you guys aren't on my newsletter, please leave your email address. We have 20 events for 2023, basically focused on what people like yourselves need and is the most efficient. And that's good for the constipation, and also for the constipation, CV4. And the ALS specifically, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. And if I forget you, just remind me and put it in again, in case I go by inadvertently. T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. Also a boost for Marie. A tune-up. Microbiome tune-up, L4, T11, T12, L4, and L5. And grounding. Liver 3 and kidney 1. Yep, let me write your name down for the email address for our events. And when I put out newsletters, I also do what I do here. I just put out nutritional information, resources. Okay, Sandra, I will put you on our list. So next, we want to work with Fancy Civilian for breast cancer. And we want to do some more for ALS, T123478. And focus on the nerves and mobility, so GB17. Hello, Louise, Bonnie, and Sally. Brachial plexus, lumbosacral plexus for the ALS as well. CV4 for the ALS, and grounding. Okay, so next we have Catherine, and Pondering Traveler, and Fancy Civilian. So blood flow to the brain. So for the breast cancer and for the fibroids, abscesses, castor oil packs are the way to go. There are even castor oil packs specifically made for the breasts. There are specific castor oil packs made for the uterine area, fibroids, and so on. And then you can use a castor oil pack for a kidney tumor or liver detox. So castor oil packs is coming up a lot for everyone here. Blood flow to the brain. So let's work on the eyes, C3. And hello, Esther, masterpiece maker. So ouch point for the eyes for Catherine. As we talked about before, macular degeneration, zinc and quercetin would be the way to go. Stop it in its tracks, hopefully heal it, and then vein or artery support with other herbs, such as hawthornberry. Vertebral artery to the spinal artery. So for the breast cancer, T4, definitely castor oil packs, but we want to work on blood flow and nerve flow. So T4 is for the nerve flow, mammary arteries for the blood flow. Axillary lymph for metastases prevention. And for edema, right ankle. Kidneys, kidneys, kidneys. Lymph drainage, lymph brushing, rebounding, all those things for the lymph. And Kim Davison, welcome. And Sandra, we're all set. I want to make sure I didn't skip anyone. We got ALS, cataracts. Yep, we got everyone. Yep, and the walnut looks like a brain. Burdock root looks like a bone as well. Louise, Bonnie, and Sally, nice to meet you. And you'll be up next, Bonnie Burnham. So let's one more time for T4 for the breast cancer, but also oxygen, because cancer is triggered by a lack of oxygen or hypoxia. That's how it works. So we work on the oxygen system, phrenic nerve, and CV17, and T6 for the diaphragm for oxygen management and capacity. So things like this, which I use and recommend, is resistance breathing, which increases oxygen to the tissues. Anti-cancer. And grounding, liver 3 and kidney 1. And next we have Pondering Traveler, Detox with the lungs. Again, you can use castor packs on the lungs here or in the belly for general lymph acceleration. Lymph removes toxins from the body. Blood flow to the brain. And we also work for Bonnie Burnham, Louise, Alzheimer's, and rectal cancer. And welcome for everyone for Augustina. Blood flow to the brain. And command points for the brain stem. Chemical and mold exposures, you can use binders such as clay, modified fruit pectin, glutathione. So those would be my first choices. You need to bind to these chemicals to get them out of the body. Otherwise they will stay and they will recycle. And mold is a different type. There are specific herbs that you can use for that. And also boost the immune system, T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, including the lymph and the lungs and the sinuses. So a great way to sanitize the sinuses is to do a steam tent with lavender or echinacea. And breathing through the nose also sanitizes the sinuses. So if you can say sanitize the sinuses 10 times, you're going to be fine. Could you show the book again, please? The Cataract Cure by Marios Grizios. I have no idea if I said that right, but I'm guessing Kyriazis. Sorry, Kyriazis. The Cataract Cure. And he has specific products, eye drops. Blood flow to the brain. Again, to the lungs for chemical exposure. And then the detox set. T3 for the lymph, T4 for the skin, which is great to work with food play. T9 for the liver, L2 for the kidneys. That's your detox set of tools. So T3 for the lungs and oxygen and detoxing. CV4 and liver 3 and kidney 1. Let's do some more with the sinuses. C3 and C4 and the ouch point of the sinuses themselves. So adrenal health and profound fatigue. If you think of the cells, they take in nutrients, oxygen, and they remove toxins. If you can't get in nutrients or oxygen, you can't create energy and you will be fatigued because the areas in the cell are taken up by toxins and the oxygen and the nutrients can't get in to combine to do work. Therefore, you'll be exhausted because you're just not producing any energy. So you must detox. And adrenal health, L2. So let's focus specifically on Alzheimer's, rectal cancer, squamous cell cancer on the nose. So clay and frankincense for topical cancers, any kind. Blood flow to the brain. And let's work on Alzheimer's, which means lots of blood flow related things for the brain. Sky window, carotid artery for the brain. Heavy metal testing for Alzheimer's because oftentimes it could be a heavy metal poisoning of the brain, creating inflammation. C1 to C7, but then the occipital blood flow to the brain for Louise. So the three blood flow areas, the carotid artery, the vertebral artery, and the occipital arteries. So let's do that one more time for the Alzheimer's. Carotid artery, sky window, blood flow to the brain, carotid artery, blood flow for the brain. I'm not sure why you can't connect to the audio. For Augustina. You can't hear me now, or you can't. Yeah, don't know what's going on. The audio is not muted. Should be okay. Make sure everything is up. Anti-inflammation for Alzheimer's, T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. And for body, the brachial plexus to the hands. Make sure you get plenty of B12 to protect your nerves. T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. Ouch point to the hands. The source is the nerves at the neck. And then we're going to work with Catherine and Bonnie for the eyes. C3 for the eyes. Glaucoma, which is GV17, blood pressure for the eyes. C3 for the eyes. And the ouch point for the eyes. And blood flow more to the eyes for the night blindness. and for blood concussion as well. But let's continue with the eyes, and then we will work on Kim for the brain concussion. And then Magnificent Citizen vertebral artery, spinal artery, and grounding to liver 3 and kidney 1 body. Rectal cancer. So first oxygen, phrenic nerve, CV17, P6, and then L4, L5, S1, S2, 3, 4, and 5. And grounding to liver 3 and kidney 1. So if people are interested in the detox program coming up in February, or the colon cleanse, which will solve constipation, 7-day program, we do it by community. Let me know. It's a technique developed by Tesla in 1895, enhanced through a process that I created to make it community-based. That's in January, New Year's cleanse. Send me your email or your questions, and we're happy to answer that. So next we have Magnificent 7, right kidney tumor. Definitely casserole packs with poke root. And I've located a good source of that. Uterine fibroids, so alternate casserole pack on the front, casserole pack on the back. Right tooth, right inflammation, abscess. Definitely a good option is these gummies that are oregano oil, black seed oil. You chew them and cleanse basically their herbal antibiotics. And the sacrum and low back pain due to protruded discs. If you could tell me which one, that would be good too. But we'll work on all of them: intervertebral, osteochondrosis, constipation, and hair loss. Blood flow to the brain. So you still can't hear me? You guys with Augustina? Blood flow to the brain. Brain command points, brain stem command points. See 3, 4, and 5 for the jaw and the teeth. Anti-inflammation, T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. Pro-oxygenation, sky window, T6, CV17. So let's work on blood flow and nerve flow to the kidney tumor and uterine area, fibroid area, T7 for blood flow, L2 for the kidneys. So the kidney tumor and uterine fibroid, from our perspective, that's the same point, L2. And I'd be curious if your protruded disc is L2. If that's the case, that would be quite a coincidence, but actually makes a lot of supportive sense. Lower back pain, L1 to 5. Constipation, definitely. Hydration, teas like senna tea, smooth move tea. High fiber foods, eliminate the non-fiber foods such as the animal foods. T123478, intervertebral osteochondrosis. And for the hair loss, C6, C7, thyroid, parathyroid. Highly recommend lots of sea vegetables. Avoid fluoridated water and products. And growth hormone, GV20. Yes, Sandra, that's a lot of science. I read about it. And they've got a specific product. It's just, I think it's just one or two amino acids specifically for the eyes. And again, with the eyes, it is zinc and quercetin for the eyes, especially for macular degeneration, but all the eyes, and then blood flow to the eyes that we worked on. T123478. And maybe I got a response. I saw something move. And T123478, anti-inflammation. Anti-inflammation and COVID recovery for Michael. Tracy and Michael, good to see you. BC, I forgot again what BC stands for. And did we work on the concussion? Yes, we worked on the concussion, all the blood flow to the brain. And BC, please remind me of that as well. Blood flow to the brain. Magnificent Citizen, skin problem. Scars on the face, vitamin E. You can get rid of the scars or aloe vera, but vitamin E oil. Great, Kim, thank you for the update. T1234 for the skin. Clay packs on the face. Scars can also be remedied by that. And then vitamin E oil on the face. Swelling face, I'm sure, red big pores. Sorry to hear that. So T123478 for the skin and inflammation. So I had acne scars on my face and the back. You don't want to wait as long as I did to have them resolved, but definitely that can be worked out with aloe or vitamin E or clay packs. So those are the three things I would recommend. T123478. Blood pressure, GV17, gluten, and gut issues. T123478 for inflammation. Gluten face. T123478 for the gut. T11, T12, L4, L5. Low blood pressure, GV17. T5 for the heart. And grounding, liver 3 and kidney 1. Also bladder 54 for the bladder. Grounding from the vagus nerve to CV4, gut-brain axis. detoxing, inflammation. Liver 3 and kidney 1. So next we have estrogen dominance. So you can increase or reduce your aromatase inhibitor foods and eat alkaline plant-based foods, blah, blah. And gleeful earthling. But we will work on the hormone balancing. But we're also going to work right now on Augustina, which is the main blood flows to the brain. So carotid artery to the brain, GB13 for the front of the brain, GB20, which is the pituitary, 22 for the hypothalamus, which is for the endocrine and estrogen balancing. Food sensitivities is toxicity. So detoxification and cleansing. So work on T4 for the breast area for the daughter as well. Number 1 to 5. T1, 2, and 3 for the lungs. So T3 for the lungs. Lung 1, lung 2 from Chinese medicine perspective for the weak lungs for gleeful earthling. T1, 2, 3, 4 for the cough. T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8 for anti-inflammation. Slippery elm is a great herb for scratchy cough. And grounding and the ouch point on the throat itself. And again, the lungs, CV17 for gleeful hurtling. Continue with the 3 main areas of blood flow for Augustina: carotid artery to the brain, vertebral artery to the brain, and occipital artery to the brain stem. GB13, left side, right side. And then oxygenation, phrenic nerve, CV17, phrenic nerve, T6. Shingles, which is an Epstein-Barr virus family, it would be good to take a round of Epstein-Barr virus homeopathic tinctures that I recommend, or just immune boosting. Daniel, blood pressure is normalizing, which is GB17. Beet juice would be great. Chronic hypertension, definitely beet juice, and resistance breathing for hypertension to bring that down. Hypotension and hypertension. T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, metabolic issues such as diabetes, kidney disease, cardiovascular, difficult walking, acute kidney failure recovery. T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8 for all of those. But let's go down to kidneys, L2, T5 for the cardiovascular, the heart, GB17 for cardiovascular, T8 for the pancreas and diabetes. also L2 for Drew, the kidneys, GV17 for circulation for Drew, brachial plexus nerves, lumbosacral plexus nerves. And there we go. Liver 3 and kidney 1, and it's great to see everyone. Take a deep breath. Join me. Breathe in through the nose. Out through the nose with a longer exhale. Count to 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold your breath for 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And breathe normally. We activate the relaxation response. And we just send everybody chi. So it's always good to hear from everyone. Let me know if you're doing better, worse, or the same. If you have any specific questions, if you want to get on my email list, leave your email address there or email me if you want to keep it confidential, joe@anusarawellness.com. And we're going to be tapping, we just did some breathing for a relaxed mind, and we'll focus on GB13 as well for the relaxed mind for blue sky. GB13, left side, right side, and in Tong, third eye for everyone right now. And we do a clearing, creating cohesive frequencies to create harmony from chaos and clear the chaos. Thank you very much. Look forward to seeing everybody next week, or in the meantime, asking if you have any questions or stuff like that. Thank you, Catherine. Let's keep working. Let's solve these problems for everyone, and we will talk soon. Take care.